Good evening, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of the Brad and Avery Hour. This is episode number 25. Same age as me. I feel like we're getting older. If we look a little bit clearer tonight, there's a reason why. We got a new webcam. Brad and Avery Hour is now in high definition.
Yes, we are.
Avery Luz McDougal. I'm Brad Busco. Avery, I want to start off on not a somber note, but somewhat of a downer note. For a guy we're familiar with at Edmonton, he played for the Edmonton Eskimos for one season. Now, formerly known as Roman Reigns in the WWE, announced today he's relinquishing the WWE title due to his second battle, or he's about to battle the biggest, I think, demon he's faced through his 11 years, and that being leukemia. This will be his second time having it. He had it when he was 22 years old. Beat it very quickly, he stated. So big. Our prayers, our thoughts are with him. Get through this fast. We want you back in the ring. We want you to be a champion again. So Roman Reigns, I know, for a lot of you that aren't wrestling fans, familiar with him in the CFL, big thoughts and prayers are with you, man, and just hang in there.
No, I couldn't agree more. And of course, I saw the announcement on Raw where Roman was in Joe Hanoi, his real name.
Yeah,
People
Joe,
who were on, he announced it in the ring. And you know what? Be it kayfabe, whatever real, be it heel, face, the reaction the crowd gave him was incredible. Because there are some things bigger than wrestling. This is real life, and we wish Roman, Joe, nothing but the best.
And that's all you can do in this time, right? He needs all the prayers he can get. He needs all the fans he can get, regardless if you love him or you hate him. This is not a time. This is not a time to love or hate somebody. This is a time to rally around somebody, give them healing, give them strength, give them the prayers and the thoughts they need to get through this hard time. So again, we're with you. We're wishing a speedy recovery. Now, speaking of Roman Reigns, spent 1 year, or Joe Hanoi, as you say. Spent 1 year here in Edmonton with the Edmonton Eskimos, and it looks like for the second time, the second time since the Grey Cup's been back, 2010 and now 2018, the Edmonton Eskimos will not be in the Grey Cup on home turf in Edmonton.
Not just even be in the Grey Cup. In 2010, they missed the playoffs as well, too, that year. And this has been a year in which Eskimos...
And they can very well miss the playoffs this year as well.
Yeah, a year in which Eskimos started at 6-3. Things are rolling. It's been a horrible stretch right now. The Eskimos
2-7 now since that
2-7. They lose in BC, and now the Eskimos go into the bye week needing some help. They need the Stampeders to knock off Winnipeg. If they do, then the season finale at Commonwealth is a win and get in game for Winnipeg and Edmonton. If Calgary loses, then that's all she wrote for the Eskimos this season.
And this is where it gets interesting for me, Avery, is because Calgary's already in the playoffs, because Calgary is somewhat, sealed the deal and somewhat, punch their ticket to a West Final or semifinal or whatever it may be. Will the Calgary Stampeders start starters against Winnipeg? Will it be Bo Levi Mitchell? Or will they rest Bo Levi Mitchell and the rest of the gang for the playoffs? I'm very intrigued.
Yeah.
If they rest Bo Levi Mitchell, you're hoping and praying the backups of the Calgary Stampeders pull something out against Winnipeg.
Exactly, because you're right. Because Calgary right now is at 12-4. Saskatchewan is not catching them. There really isn't much right now for Calgary to play for. So if you're Dave Dickinson, why not rest? Why not go out and make sure Bully and Mitchell is ready for Western Final? Why risk it? If you're Edmonton, you really do need it. You really want Calgary to go all out, and they may not, because we've seen before when Bully's not playing, Calgary is a vulnerable team. And Calgary is a team that only goes half speed in this kind of situation. So if you're Edmonton, you need some luck else to this game against Winnipeg.
Well, I hope there's some Irish in that Edmonton locker room, because they're going to need luck. again, Avery, we've seen against the BC Lions. A much better first half. They played very well.
Mm-hmm.
Something happened in the dressing room because they came out in the second half and just kind of the wheels fell off.
No, because they were up 12-0 in that game, and then they just fell apart big.
I remember turning it off, watching a movie at halftime, and coming back and they're down. They're down by 10 points. They were down by 13 at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden Aaron Grimes intercepts it. They go back for a pick six. And this is a game again. And this is where, and correct me if I'm wrong, Avery, this is where I don't think Jason Moss is the right man for the job. We've talked about this before. We'll talk about it again. Play calling.
Yeah.
It comes down to play calling. 1st and 10. And they're in the 30, in the red zone, the BC Lions, down by 10. And what do the Eskimos do?
Go for
They kick a field goal.
Now,
well, listen here.
Yeah.
You're in, if you were second down, sure. Third down, sure, obviously. It's 3-down football.
Right.
1st and 10. You got one. Give Mike that one shot. Whether it's a short pass to Duke Williams, short pass, maybe a dump pass to CJ Gay will pick up some more yards. Maybe it's another first down. Now you're in the 20. Now he hits a touchdown. You're only down by a field goal.
Right.
And then you kick it deep. You give to BC, and you give that chance back. Even if they were to kick that field goal that BC did, you're down by 6 with 15 seconds to go, and you get the ball back and you get 1 or 2 plays.
Right. From what I was hearing, that the idea was Jason Moss wanted to get the ball back quickly with that field goal on first down. But it's Wally Bonner you're coaching against. Wally knows how to kill that clock in the CFL. It was a great point. I didn't understand the logic of the field goal, even with it being first down and the whole, get the field goal, they get the ball back quickly. Well, that's not guaranteed. As we saw, it wasn't a guaranteed thing.
And we know how good this Eskimo defense hasn't really been this year.
Mm-hmm.
They've been very hit and miss. So to have that much faith in your defense at that time left, I was kind of cringing. I was scared. I was frustrated, throwing things at the TV that obviously wouldn't break my
now.
TV. But throwing things, and you gotta go. Points are important.
Of course.
I get the field goal, sure. But at least give Mike a shot to get you in the end zone.
I agree. And you mentioned trusting. Right now, the Eskimos, I trust the ball more in the hands of Mike Riley than the defense they can stop. I trust
100%.
Mike so much
100%.
right now in terms of what he's done during his 5-year tenure with the Eskimos.
Oh, before I forget, quick shout out, Shaq, Raymar, everybody, Halley's, our brand new venue. As you can see behind us, it's absolutely beautiful. If you have not been here, please come here for dinner. Mention the Brand Avery Hour. We'll hook you up. And mention Shaq, again, Raymar, Dave. Thank you guys for all you do and believing in us and putting us on the map. And we're making this happen every Monday night. We couldn't have done it without you guys. So thank you so much. And we're so blessed to be a part of this family.
No, of course, I couldn't agree more. Speaking of Hollies, we got some contest winners. My buddy, Kyle Polanski. He's won a Hollies trivia question.
Good boy, man.
He answered correctly. Who did Drew Brees play for in NCAA? It was Purdue. And we have a second contest winner. I'm going to pull his name up here. I know it's Justin. I'm going to get his last name here. Justin. He correctly answered when did the first ever Hell in a Cell match happen in WWE? That was between Shawn Michaels and Undertaker. It happened in 1997. So Justin and then Kyle, congratulations, guys. You're going to love Hollies. You're going to love dinner here. They'll treat you well. We'll make it happen.
They're gonna just remind everybody who answers the trivia question correctly must be in Edmonton, and you get a free dinner for 2 here at Howie's on the Brad Avery Hour. So again, thank you to everybody that watches and listens and takes part in our show every week. We're so blessed to have you all. So thank you.
Exactly. It's fun doing trivia. It's fun, although I'll say this much though, guys. I do want to see some more people joining in on trivia because, hey, these are easy answers.
Easy answers. Yeah.
These stuff.
So if you're on Facebook now, you look at Tony and my grandma.
My grandmother, she's on
here. Yeah, she always supports us and me, and We thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
It means the world. Again, like our page, share our page, let the people know what's going on. That we're your favorite live streaming podcast on Facebook. Make sure people know about it. We give away a dinner for two every week. You're not gonna want to miss this. You take advantage of this. Folstein, you and a guest get dinner on us here at the beautiful Howie's. You can pick a Thursday that even works for you, and we'll make it happen. Also, quickly, I want to do a plug, Avery.
Go ahead.
Plug for the Echoes of Hope event, November 2nd at Hudson's on Bourbon Street. For those of you that heard or haven't heard, and have been living under a rock the last month, we are raising money again for Luke Robitaille and Stacey Robitaille's charity, Echoes of Hope. It provides youth and underprivileged youth to go to college. They pay for books, backpacks, education, everything else. Our goal this year, guys, $10,000. Last year we raised $5,000. We got some big ticket items this year. I mean, big ticket. We got 2 tickets in the Sportsnet Lounge at Rogers Place this year.
Mm-hmm.
We got a mask. Get this, and I'll post pictures later if you're on my Facebook. A mask signed by the man himself, Grant Fear. We're going to be auctioning off November 2nd, 7 o'clock, Hudson's on Bourbon Street. It's a free event, so make sure you get at either. You can get at both of us.
Yes, you can.
Promoting it. Get at both of us for tickets. It's a free event. I'm still charging. We're not charging. We're giving away tickets at the door. With those tickets, you get $10 off your bill, courtesy of Hudson's on Bourbon Street. A free drink as well involved in that. We'll have a 50-50 raffle. The Oilers game will be on. They'll be live in Nashville.
You can wrestle Brad as well too at the event.
Yeah, we can. I can slam you through some tables. That's the way it's gonna go. Some great events. This is a not miss event for a great cause. And it's just gonna be an incredible night. I know Avery's gonna be down there as well.
Absolutely.
Maybe we'll even live stream it and do a quick show.
Who knows?
Live on Bourbon Street. So make sure you be there. Message me for details. If you want to donate and cannot be there, we have a GoFundMe page up and ready to rock and roll. Make sure, again, please like and share that as many times as possible. Anything matters. Anything counts. All goes to a great cause, making a difference, and some big things coming. Again, thank you to Luke and Stacey Robitaille for naming me the Canadian ambassador and allowing us to do this every year. And next year, we're going to have it, and it's going to stay right here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. We're getting some legal stuff sorted out. It's going to be full-time. Echoes of Hope Canada launch next year. So for those of you guys that want to donate, it will be staying in Canada, which is good as well.
That's incredible stuff. That is incredible. And Brad, I do want to mention, we got to coordinate our stuff better because this is the second time we've done a Brad and Avery episode where I'm wearing my Thriller jacket, and you're wearing this red shirt.
Great taste, look alike again. I thought you were Michael Jackson for a minute.
You see,
God damn.
look at that. See, why are you wearing this? Look at that. See? You want to see the moonwalker? That. See? Look at that.
We got Waldo. We got Waldo and Michael Jackson.
See?
It looks good.
Uh-huh.
We'll just rename it to Waldo and
the what?
Waldo. Where's Waldo?
Where's Waldo? That is where's Waldo. Oh my gosh, that's a guy's name again.
I want to talk briefly, or not briefly, but about the Edmonton Oilers now. We talked about the Eskimos, obviously, on the verge of missing the playoffs. The Edmonton Eskimos, Avery, are off to a surprisingly good start.
Well, they were the hockey team currently Eskimos in the 20s. So
off to a good start, and I'm going to say that a good start because easily. And you look at their schedule. We talked about this. Weeks already.
Mm-hmm.
3-3. I'll take any day over an 0-6 start all day long.
No, I'll give them credit though. They've gotten wins over Winnipeg. They've got wins over Boston. The game against Nashville, that was a
They
stinker.
could have won the game. They could have won the game. I'm not. You know what? I'm not going to put it fully on the Oilers. Cam Talbot played well. Most of the and I'll name one guy that didn't play well in particular. The power play obviously didn't look sharp. I'll give you two guys actually that didn't play well in my mind, and I've been riding them all year, and I'll continue to ride them until something happens. Evan Bouchard, he cost the Oilers 2 or 3 goals. Quite frankly, I think he's going to be sent down.
As he should be.
That's the end of the line, I think. You know what? And I've talked about this before. He's going to be a great defenseman.
Mm-hmm.
He will be.
Yes.
You can see parts of it already with the vision of the ice and the ability to find his teammates and the shot, the absolute cannon for a shot. It reminds me of Al McInnes with that cannon from the blue line, but he can't pinch in when nobody's there backing him. And that's what caused the 2-on-1 PK Subban short end of goal. Was he pinched in too deep, couldn't get backing up, and Subban made 1-0 at Nashville, and it kind of just spiraled from there. But it's, and I don't blame the kid. I think he needs to go to the World Juniors. He needs to go light up London and be okay. Another guy, and it's kind of weird we're talking about this, that $8.5 million man, not 97, 29, Leon Draisaitl, he has been very non-existent this year. Apparently, it came out, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, he came out and he's pouting because he's not playing with 97. Now, I'll give you this. Mm-hmm. You don't pay a guy $8.5 million to anchor with Connor McDavid. You want to anchor Connor? I'll give you an ultimatum. You want to anchor Connor McDavid? You want to play on McDavid's line? I'll give you 5. $8.5 million to me and the Oilers. It tells us you're playing on your own line, anchoring your own line, and you're your own guy.
Yep. No, you're right.
You're your own guy. And he is whining, I was going to say the other one, whining and crying that he can't play with Connor McDavid. You're lucky you're on this team.
Well, I wasn't lucky. He's still an elite talent.
Listen, and I'm not taking that away, but the first 6 games, look, I could have scored that OT winner from a pass from Connor McDavid as well. It's not that easy. It's not that hard. But this guy, he's got to get going. And I'll tell you right now, you're Leon Draisaitl, and I'm Todd McCollum. My line mates for tomorrow night's game, Jesse Puljujärvi and Milan Lucic.
Interesting.
And you move everybody else down. Milan Lucic has had a hell of a 6th game. I think he deserves some ice time. And Puljujärvi, I don't know. I don't care what they were thinking of. Why would they put him on the 4th line? He's not a bottom 6 guy. He needs to excel. He needs to play. Until Kajula comes back, until Ratty comes back, I believe Yamamoto will stay with Nugent Hopkins and Connor McDavid. I believe we talked about Ethan Bear or Evan Bouchard. I believe Ethan Bear will eventually take that spot. Now, interesting here, Avery.
Yes.
We've seen it this morning. Connor Marody has been recalled from Bakersfield.
That's true.
And he's lit it up. And I'll tell you this. I have a feeling, Bob Stopper, I think, tweeted out today, they may put him with Connor McDavid tomorrow. And what a debut for this kid if he plays, I'm sorry, Cooper Marody. Cooper.
Got Connor on the brain. Everybody's Connor to you, eh?
Connor, yeah. Connor McDavid, Cooper Marody, and Ryan Nugent Hopkins. What a debut for that kid if he plays with 97.
That would be. And Marody, you know what? He came in from the Flyers organization. He was a Flyers draft round pick, a Flyers pick in 2015, 6th round pick, and he has a scoring pedigree from Michigan. He had 51 points in 17-18 with the U of Michigan, and it was interesting to see how he plays in the NHL. But interesting to see him make his debut. But yeah, that would be quite the debut. 21 years old, and his first game in NHL is on the first line. We'll see what happens, though. But it's clear he has some scoring pedigree in his game, though, Brad.
Well, look at those points. I mean, six points in 5 games for Marody with 2 goals, 4 assists. I mean, and he's playing with some veteran AHLers down there. And I think what a better place to put him with 97 and see what happens.
Exactly. It'll be interesting to definitely see what happens there. As we roll their schedule right now, as we say it again, hey, here you go. Here's Washington. Here's Pittsburgh. Here's Washington. Enjoy.
Yeah, and then you're gonna have Nashville again. A couple games, and Chicago,
Minnesota,
and Minnesota again. Like, it's not an easy first month, and again, I'll reiterate this: 3-3 with that schedule is not bad.
No,
and you're right in the thick of things still. It's not like you've lost a step. They came off a 3-game winning streak. They lost to Nashville. I think they come out with a little more urgency against Pittsburgh. And you know what? I think they win. I think they beat the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Interesting.
And not by much, but I think they end up beating Pittsburgh. The other thing I'll mention, Pittsburgh, the Oilers apparently have kicked tires at Oli Mata to bring in as a defenseman. Now,
interesting.
Now, if you're Edmonton, you're Pittsburgh, what's the asking price for Oli Mata?
Oli Mata, that's a good question. Let me show you.
Especially with Justin Schultz out of the lineup, Oli Mata is a little more valuable with the fracture to Schultz out 3 or 4 months.
All right, that was a tough blow for the Penguins to lose Justin Schultz for that long. Ooh, and he was proven to be a quality defenseman for the Penguins after leaving Edmonton.
I mean, is Oli Mata really? Is he a first-round pick? Is he a package that maybe picks a second in a future?
He probably is. I think he probably is a second in
a roster player, possibly. I mean, who do you? I hate to say it, but does a Ryan Strome become expendable? And I mean, do they want Ryan Strome? Or are you Pittsburgh? Are you targeting Jesse Puljujärvi?
To me, I don't want to dangle Puljujärvi, but I do think that I've always felt that Ryan Strome was expendable. I've ran before Ryan Strome and felt that he wasn't what the Oilers needed. But to your point, with Pittsburgh, we want a Ryan Strome. It's easy for us to say, yeah, trade him, but do the Penguins want him? Probably not.
No. Another guy I don't want, Matt Benning.
No, not a Matt Benning fan?
Look, I'm not bashing local kids. He played in Spruce Grove.
He watched our show a couple weeks ago. He's in our chat room.
I like Matt Benning is a great human being. Great human being. Great golfer as well. I'll add that as well. With his dad. But Matt Benning has just not found himself in Edmonton. I think it's time for Matt Benning to go succeed in another NHL market. Maybe there's pressure here in Edmonton playing in front of his hometown.
I feel last year was an alright year for him, but it's clear that he's had a struggle. He's had a slow start here.
He struggled hard.
The game against the Bruins where he got danced, that was not a good effort in Boston.
See, you got to have you got to have a memory of a goldfish when you're a defenseman. You got to be, you have a bad game. Boston was terrible. Hey, we get that. That was game 2 of the season. We understand that. But let's get back on the horse. Let's play. And to me, Matt Benning's been invincible.
Yeah.
Is Jason Garrison any better? Probably not. But, I mean, who do you got? I mean, I'll tell you right now, Bouchard will be gone. We just talked about that. I think Benning sits. And I really think it's going to be Garrison and Ethan Bear. And you know who else deserves a lineup shot? I was very impressed with in Nashville? Alex Chiasson.
Really? You found so? Okay.
I was he is fast. He has a new element of speed.
That is true.
He deserves a spot for now, for the time being, on his way roster until guys like Kadrula can get back and healthy. Ty Ratty can get back and healthy. But I think Chiasson plays tomorrow night.
No, Alex Chiasson. Alex, you a newfound friend. You a newfound fan in Brad.
Hey, yeah.
Interesting though. You're high on the Alex Chiasson wagon.
Yeah, you're not.
Don't get me wrong. I like the sign though, but you know what? I want to see a little bit more. But you know what though? He's been all right. He's been all right. He's okay.
For what is it? 700,000. I mean,
Decent signing.
That's a pretty
Good
good
money.
deal, right?
No.
It's a value play for the Edmonton Oilers, and it's a win-win.
That's true.
If he doesn't perform, he goes down, or buys him out, or whatever. There's also talk you buy out Jason Garrison. You know what? Who takes his place then?
It's a great question.
You have Ethan Bear coming in, we assume, to take the role of Evan Bouchard eventually when those 9 games expire. I think he plays those 9 games, as you know. I think he plays tomorrow night. But who else is coming in? I mean, is Caleb Jones? I don't think.
I don't think he's ready yet.
I don't think he's ready. Keegan Lowe, I don't think is ready. Kevin, hey, everybody is high on Kevin Gravel. Bob Stauffer loves this kid. Maybe it's time Ethan Bear and maybe it's time Kevin Gravel gets in the lineup tomorrow over Bouchard. Let's see what he can do.
Well, you know what? It's still early enough. Why not? Why not give Gravel a chance? Says, uh-oh.
And we have a special guest that just arrived in studio, and cue the entry music.
Whose team is that? Who's
And Y2J, Mr. Vic Michaels, is in studio, and he's joined us for episode 25. And man, he knows how to make an entrance. I'll tell you that.
That's a new camera setup.
It is.
Camera.
You're live in HD.
Don't you look better in HD?
You're gonna break the walls down?
Yes, absolutely. Who am I putting in the wall of Jericho?
So this guy.
Man, he just joined us at a great time. We're talking about the disastrous start
I'll grab this one over here.
for Matt Benning. Disastrous start for Evan Bouchard, Kevin Gravel, and it looks to be Jason Garrison for
Watch
the time being
your head with this guy.
with Ethan Bear. What are your thoughts on Matt Benning and the Oilers defense?
I think much to be desired. I don't know about you guys. Obviously, Jason Garrison had a rough start his first couple of games. Matt Benning hasn't looked great. You know, they're doing the best with what they have. You know, Larson and Clefbaum seem to be doing okay. Darnell Nurse has looked very good so far. Probably maybe the best defenseman to this point. Chris Russell's been so. But I feel like
that's his role, though.
Yeah, I think we all kind of knew that was a contract that, you know, might not look so good later down the line. Even though it's only been is this year 2? Year 2 in his 4-year deal?
I think so. Yeah.
Year 2. Yeah. But yeah, it's just kind of that fight for that sixth spot right now. I don't think they know who's going to take that. I think Ethan Bear should be the guy. I don't know about you guys, but
we talked about it. I think Ethan Bear's definitely the guy. For now, you look, I think to replace Benning, would Benning be hurt? I think Kevin Gravel will get a good look. I think he'll get a shot. Guy signed out of LA with the LA Kings. The LA Kings were high on him.
Yes, they were.
So I see him potentially sliding in, being a 6'7" guy, and maybe throwing his weight around a bit and being kind of, you know, that radar, that kind of impactful defenseman. So what? But are you okay with a 3-3 start given their schedule?
I think given the schedule, I think it's fine. My only issue is even in the games that they've won, you know, there's a lot of holes in this team, and they've definitely been exposed in every game this season, win or loss. So, you know, I think with the schedule, I think you can be happy with the amount of points they've been able to squeak by. Boston at the home opener, that was a huge win for them.
Of course.
You know, even though they lost to Nashville, they didn't look awful, but at the same time, there's just something about this team that you just don't trust. You know, like you don't feel good going into a game. Like you don't feel confident going into a game. Barely squeaking by the Rangers, which is, you know, a borderline AHL team. So there's definitely a lot of questions, and you know, I'm concerned as a fan, as management is. I'm sure there's lots of, you know, like I said, holes that need to be filled, but we don't have a lot of cap space, and you know, you don't have a lot of options when you're Peter Chiarelli.
Well, I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago with the Oilers being potentially a wildcard team. Do we still feel that way 6 games into the year? Is this potentially a playoff team?
I think it's a bubble team.
Bubble,
sure.
absolutely bubble team.
From what I've seen so far, probably on the lower end of that, I would say probably closer to the 9, 10, 11 spot rather than a 7, 8. But it's a long season, and when you have Connor McDavid on your team, anything can happen. But I guess it's also kind of the double-edged sword right now. Is yes, he's the best player on the team, best player in the league, but the rest of the team needs to start helping him out because that's the real issue.
No, exactly. And you're seeing right now the point totals, Connor's at 11 points, and Hopkins is at 7. And it's funny, like that gap of, I know the gap's only at 4 points, but that could be Connor above his rest teammates by 25 points pretty quickly.
Yeah, when you look at the gap from Nuge down, like right after Draisaitl, you go all the way down to Darnell Nurse with 3 points. So
who's still pointless?
Who's still pointless? Toby Reader, he's still pointless. Ryan Strome is 0 points.
See, for me, out of that list, just looking at this, the biggest disappointment on that list with no points, just looking at the guys with no points, is Tobias Reader. Coming in, being a guy, I think the Oilers, because I see Ryan Strome, and I was at the game on Saturday. I like what Ryan Strome has done, regardless of being pointless. I like what he's done 6 games in. He's got that effort. He's been playing. You can see him in there. But to me, Tobias Reader is invisible. I don't know if I don't know if either of you agree, but what are we paying for?
That's the thing. Like that, he's been given a big opportunity on the team. He top 6 role at some points in the season. But yeah, this is a guy you don't notice him out there like at all.
No, exactly.
Which is unfortunate because he's one of those cheap contracts that Chiarelli was able to pick up. Yeah. And so far, it's not looking so good.
And also, what happened to Zach Cassian's game? Zach Cassian played 4 games and 0 points as well.
For me, Cassian had his best game on Saturday. Throwing his weight around, he was out there. Just about scored on UC Saros with great play by Saros. But, I don't know.
I would argue that he's been invisible too, other than
Saturday.
But he was on the first line, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of hard not to be noticed at least somewhat on the first line. But I think Cassian is another guy who hasn't done much, and that's not really a cheap contract either.
No.
Thinking about it, a fourth line player. At least with Toby, with Reader, you can argue, it's a pretty inexpensive deal. So if it doesn't work out, not the end of the world.
What about a Kyle Brodziak? Is he? That's another deal Chiarelli mustered up to try and bring back.
You know what? I've
been an Oiler before, and
you know what? I liked Brodziak as a 3rd or 4th line guy, but if you're depending on Kyle Brodziak at 34 years old to save your team scoring wise, that's not a good look.
No,
that's not a good look.
No, the second line's got to get their act together. Outside of Draisaitl, Puljujärvi's looked good in spots. I thought Lucic has actually had a bounce back season so far. But really, outside of that top line, the rest of the team is dead weight at this point. It's McDavid just dragging a dead carcass behind him.
Do we blame anything on Cam Talbot? Is Cam Talbot where we thought he'd be?
So. I think Cam Talbot's been excellent so far.
He has been.
Other than game 1, a couple hiccups, but other than that, I think he's been excellent. He's been, one of the main reasons they're only losing games by a couple goals rather than.
That's right.
Yeah. That Nashville game probably easily could have been 4-0, 5-0. It wasn't for a couple big saves.
And Sellers played well as well. UC Sellers played very well.
No, he did. So yeah, I gotta admit. But it is, it's interesting to see, and I mean, this is gonna be a year where hopefully the wheels don't come off the wagon. Because if they do, I said before in this podcast, then this team needs to have one of the rare in-season GM firings.
Yeah, well, I was having that discussion the other day. If they do fire Chiarelli, who's his replacement? Keith Gretzky. Is that really the answer? You're going backwards again, right? You're recycling these guys again. Nothing against Keith Gretzky.
No.
But he's got connections to the word that we don't like to use, the old boys club, right? So,
to me, it looks as though, look, you talk about in season firing. Mm-hmm. If they're a tire fire, if they're a disaster by Christmas, just stay the goddamn course. I get it. We've been down this road. Stay the course. Fire them at season's end. You got the entire season to look for someone new. Yeah. Keep your coaching staff in place. That doesn't need to be touched. Keep that in place. Let the new GM decide, and then make your decision from there.
Well,
And I think from there you see some major changes.
well, you have to
Yeah.
because you can come Davis in year 4. Eventually, understand he's humble, he likes playing here, but you can't piss away
Yeah.
a generational talent
Mhm.
forever and ever. Amen.
We
We've been
talked
playoffs for
about it.
once in year 4. Any other franchise would have burnt everything down to the ground.
And we've talked about this, and maybe we'll bring Vic in this too. Like, at what point you're Connor McDavid? At what point do you say, "Screw this, I'm out of here"?
Yeah, I don't think with Connor's personality, you'd have to get very extreme.
It
I
would
think.
have to.
But at the same time, if you're missing the playoffs year after year, that's not good for sure. You look at even teams like Pittsburgh with Crosby. They had a couple down years, and
Well, 1 year of no playoffs. Then it was 1 year
and
of
they
and
cleaned
you're
house
in. Yep.
basically, yeah, and brought in guys like Kessel and stuff like that to kind of refuel the team. So I think we're a little bit away from that, but if they miss the playoffs this year, it's got to be by a large margin for the crap to hit the fan, because if they're close in the bubble, I think that's fine, because I think that this is where everybody expects this team to be. But if they're out of the playoffs by Christmas, there's got to be changes for sure.
Even missing though,
Even regardless, yeah.
even missing, I feel that this is a year where I personally feel you can't miss. I don't care if it's by 1 point or 15. You can't miss.
I just don't think the team's good enough, though. Like,
No, I know
on
that. I
paper.
know they're not. Like, that's the thing. Like, this team has not been built enough to, on paper, be better than a wild card team, and that's on management. That's on the front office. That's their fault.
You look at guys, ratio. You can name a few GMs, but they've come into quote unquote crappy situations. Don Sweeney in
Look
Boston.
at Carolina right now.
Carolina.
They're actually looking like not a bad team.
Yeah,
But Don Waddell, like, that's the shocker.
You need to build around 97. The Oilers handcuffed themselves at the cap, and we knew as soon as Drysdale signed his deal, the Oilers were going to be in trouble because there's no money. Where do you get the supporting cast? Crosby and Malkin got Kessel. Then they got a guy like Jake Gensel. Then they got the Connor Shearers. Then they had, yes, those were AHL caliber players, but they became NHL caliber players. Now, do the Oilers have a Jake Gensel? No.
No.
Even in the AHL.
The Oilers don't have a Chris
Like-
Tang. That's the big.
No.
And that's the issue. Right?
But even when the Penguins went to Cup the first 2 times, look at that roster they had when it was Crosby, and they had the Jerry
Stahl.
Roberts. You had the Zygmunt Palffy. You had a team which
Yeah.
was young guys.
That's right.
Mark
When you
Recchi.
had Mark Recchi, when you had that solid core, that team didn't just say, "Okay, Sid, here you go, have fun and save our team."
Yeah.
They didn't do that in
Yeah.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
They didn't do it in Chicago.
Yeah.
I've said it before, time and time again. Why did this? It goes back even before McDavid. It goes back to Hopkins, Hall, Eberle, Gagne, Robert Nielsen,
PRV,
Cogliano,
Linus Omar.
Omar, thinking that these guys can do it on their own, and they
Yeah,
can't.
yeah,
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So if you were a GM, and let's say crap hits a fan here, what do? What can you do to fix this without tearing it so much that this is not a playoff team anymore?
Well, that's the thing. Like, it all comes back to the cap room. It's not like you can go and sign guys.
No.
There's no cap to do it.
Yeah.
It would be barring a trade, which McDavid's not getting traded. So I guess the name
Of course
would
not.
be Draisaitl, Darnell Nurse.
Pugliarvi.
Probably have to come up. Like, Pugliarvi's probably not going to get you much of anything right now. And that's the thing, right? Like, what do? Your hands are tied. It's easy to critique Chiarelli because he put himself in this position, but now that he's in the position, what do you expect him to really do? Because there's not much.
Nothing.
And he mentioned trades, how the way the contracts are lined up right now, and the way they've handcuffed themselves, with Seattle coming in 2021, you may lose him for nothing if Seattle takes a Clefbaum or a Nurse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that could be another thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and like what's Nuge left? How many years does he have left? 2?
I think so. I'm pretty sure it's 2 years. Yeah,
2 years. So yeah, I think him at $6 million is probably a good value contract right now. But when that's up, what do you re-sign him at? Probably about the same, I would think. Keep him around that 6,
Yeah, I
7
don't-
maybe.
I don't see him any higher.
But yeah, they're in a tough spot because the defense is in rough shape. You have no secondary scoring.
See,
What
and
do you do?
it's you bring up the names Klefbom and Nurse to be traded, but you're thinking here, and I get where we're going, but if you're trading a Nurse for a top 6 guy, top 6 forward, that's a traction defenseman. So now you just lost one of your best defensemen for a top 6 forward.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's a catch-22. Do you trade a forward for a D-man, D-man for a forward, D-man for D-man, right? There's a lot going on. I mean, I was reading an article the other day. Carolina suitors for Willie Nylander. I mean, Willie Nylander. If Willie Nylander goes to Carolina, if they can't get a deal worked out in Toronto, I mean, Carolina's put themselves in a spot where they're actually a well-rounded team.
Yeah.
They were, excuse my language, shitty for years.
Well,
they drafted Sebastian Aho, they traded for Tero Teravainen, Justin Falk, Noah Hannafin was there, Dougie Hamilton now, of course. And the goaltending they've shored up, and Peter Mrazek. Like, why can't the Oilers be like a Pittsburgh or Carolina? You have one of the best players in the game, and you're still a bubble team. You got to be kidding me.
Because they built around a good team. They built around the entire team. They know it's not just going to be one guy. It's like Carolina right now, Carolina for years, aside from the Cup final, the Carolina Hurricanes, what were they known for? Do you guys really know?
Here's Eric Stahl, and that's about it.
Like, they had really no identity.
Yeah.
But there was no real personality. They were a very vanilla team. Like, you didn't really care about the Hurricanes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And
My biggest thing is you look at the Maple Leafs now. Obviously, Matthews' contract isn't up yet, but it will be. They managed to bring Tavares in for what, $10 million, 10.5.
Yeah.
What's he making?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Marner's gonna be getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
Matthews gonna be getting paid.
Nylander's still gotta get paid.
Nylander, whatever's happening there.
Nylander.
Morgan Riley's gonna be making. Especially with the season he's having now, right?
And you got Nazem Kadri as well too in Toronto.
And it's like they're gonna find a way to sign all these guys, but why can't Edmonton?
All right. You mentioned Nylander. I think it was The Athletic, and this is a true story. I'm not making this up. Dubas went to Switzerland to meet up with Nylander, with Michael Myers in tow.
Like Austin Powers?
Yeah, baby, yeah, that one.
Actually,
and
you brought Austin Powers.
And apparently, Mike Myers. I don't know if it was to try and appeal to Nylander, but he brought him a copy of The Love Guru. Apparently, Nylander was like,
"What does Willie Nylander want to do with Mike Myers?"
If you're Michael Myers and you are not giving anybody, first of all, an Austin Powers movie, get out of here, Mike.
Yeah.
Get the Love Guru. Love Guru?
Maybe he brought Michael Myers from Halloween with the mask.
What, to murder her? Now that would be a good sign.
That'd
good.
You don't have to pay him if he's already dead.
That'd be scary. Oh, another quick note. We talked about sad news. Charles Wong, the owner of the Islanders, passed away the other day. And
Garth Snow's favorite owner.
Yeah, Garth Snow's favorite. Yeah. Do we want to talk wrestling briefly? Now that we got Vic here, we can.
Well, we may as well. We got Mr. Wrestling in here in studio with us.
We shared the news off the top that Roman Reigns has relinquished the title due to leukemia.
Yeah.
Second battle. I didn't know about the first one. But how does it change the landscape of the WWE moving forward?
Yeah, that was a surprise. Like you said, I had no idea. I don't know if it was common knowledge or if it was buried pretty deep. It's one of those things where it's unfortunate because whether you like the character of Roman Reigns or not, it's like he said in his promo tonight, it's Joe Noah, the person who's going through this. It's not Roman Reigns, the character you see on TV. So
exactly.
Whether you boo Roman Reigns or not, you can't help but feel for the guy. And it's unfortunate timing for him, being the top guy in the WWE. Obviously, his health is number one, so hopefully that takes precedence here. And it's going to be interesting to see because, the fans obviously cheered him, which they should have today. But this is a guy who's been booed for the past, 5-6 years.
Mm-hmm.
And when he does come back, it's going to be interesting to see because I would feel like he's going to come back to quite the babyface reaction when he does come back. I feel like the fans aren't going to boo him for coming back.
No.
So, as bad as it is to say, in the long run, maybe time away for him might be good for his career when he does eventually come back.
So now we're looking. The face of the WWE relies right now on either Brock Lesnar or Braun Strowman in that crown jewel for the title. For me, it just doesn't make sense for Brock Lesnar to win the title with him going to the UFC. Or does it? Is it Braun Strowman's time now to take the driver's seat and run with this for as long as he can? And maybe Roman makes that return down the road to challenge Braun Strowman again, and my title is mine.
Well, that's the thing, right?
It turned Braun heel, which doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that made no sense. I guess it depends on if Brock's going to the UFC or not. I've heard rumors now maybe it's not happening or maybe it's pushed back. Because Cormier is fighting Derek Lewis now.
Yeah, that's right.
What's that all about?
That's right.
And how legitimate, you can't bring a WWE belt to the octagon. I don't care. You can try to make it sound legitimate, but at the end of the day, that belt means absolutely nothing inside mixed martial arts.
Right.
You can't wear that proudly and say, I'm a champion.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like maybe because of the Romans, I felt maybe going into this, I think Roman was the favorite to win that match. It was probably an easy bet. But now maybe they might try to switch that around, try to keep Brock long term and bridge that gap until Roman comes back. So that might be an option. Obviously, maybe throw a bunch of money at him to make that happen. But I do think Braun is ready. He's been ready for a while. He was ready before even WrestleMania this year. Kind of got pushed back, put in a weird situation recently, turning heel for really no reason when he was one of the most over guys in the company. So I feel like you could have a face Braun hold it until Roman comes back, and then maybe have Braun go back to a heel or who knows, do something that I guess it really depends how long Roman will be out. It'll probably be at least 6 months to a year.
I would
think.
assume
So
6 months to a year.
So I think that really doesn't matter. I wouldn't worry too much about Roman right now. It would be more about who's going to carry the torch. And I think Braun can do it. I think they kind of plant the seeds. I think McIntyre could be the guy to challenge Braun next. So I could see that maybe.
Go ahead, and then there's a couple other things.
I felt the guy who I felt that should have been getting pushed for a title would have been Bobby Lashley. I felt Lashley should have come in day one for Lesnar. He shouldn't have been distracted with this dumb Sami Zayn nonsense.
They had probably one of the worst gimmicks/angles ever of Bobby Lashley and completely destroyed any hype that he had. He's basically a joke.
Yeah,
and now they turn him heel now,
stuff,
which is weird with Leo Rush as a manager, as a heel manager. That was just awful booking, and I don't know if you can save Bobby Lashley right now.
A couple things I wanna bring up. Again, now what happens to the Shield? Does this happen now? We looked at kind of this falling apart of Braun and his group. Now, does this maybe turn into another storyline of maybe, Seth Rollins turning on Dean Ambrose and potentially that now going back to singles, doing their own thing? And also, what do you thought? Maybe it was nothing. For me, there was something there. I don't know if you guys watched 1,000 episodes of SmackDown, but this Batista and Triple H thing, could this have traction?
I think that's WrestleMania match right there. I think for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think Triple H just last couple of years kind of had this thing where he has to have some kind of I don't know, gimmick match with another legend or another returning superstar. So
I get that shovel out,
Yeah, well, I think that makes sense. It's if it's Batista's last match, I guess it only makes sense to go against the leader of Evolution, kind of his mentor, right? So that makes sense, and I'm fine with that. Whatever. It's cool to see Rey Mysterio back too. Wonder what they're going to do with him. Hopefully, they don't really, kind of push him to the side. Or I felt that's kind of happened with Jeff Hardy. He came back to a lot of hype, and now he's just kind of like a mid-card guy. So.
Yeah.
Is Matt Hardy still up?
Right, you're retired. Matt's retired. Presumably retired now.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, AJ and Joe are still going at it. AJ and Daniel Bryan are supposed to fight at Crown Jewel. You got the whole Crown Jewel debacle. What's happening there? Who knows?
I just moved the card. What is it gonna take? Move the card
Just like
out of
Vince
Saudi
said,
Arabia.
He's moved it to North Korea.
This is. Everybody else has seen the truth about what happened with Jamal Khashoggi and WWE. We're monitoring the situation. Monitoring. Move the damn card.
Yeah.
Move it.
Yeah. I think they will, but it's when you get 40, 50 million bucks coming your way, that's a tough decision to make.
Jeez almighty, this is horrible PR.
That's the thing. Well,
it's horrible
I read
PR.
today, John Cena, now that he's an actor, he's in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
He Like, he doesn't want to go. That's going to look so bad for his public image.
If you're Cena, you're not going.
No, I'm pretty sure I read somewhere today that he told WWE that he does not want to go. So that's like another thing where it's like.
So now, does the card fall apart then? Do they move it and still have the card?
I would assume they'd probably just move the location. The last 2 weeks on Raw, they've still mentioned Crown Jewel, but have
not location.
No, they've never mentioned Saudi Arabia in 2 weeks. So I could see them moving the card somewhere else, maybe somewhere else in the Middle East, maybe London, I've heard, in the UK.
I mean, if you want to grow, I mean, if you want to keep it in a similar, if you want to keep it in, I wouldn't say similar, but in the area of growing in Middle East, Asia, why not India? India is a place where wrestling is massive. Why not?
Mahal,
why not Mumbai or New Delhi? Well,
China too is a big one.
China is a possibility. I mean,
it's one of those things where it comes down to money. Saudi Arabia is pushing tons of money. I've read that they made more money from the Saudi Arabia event than they did for WrestleMania. So that's huge.
Yeah.
So if you're Vince, you got to be, you're salivating at these type of events. But at the end of the day, it's public image.
That's for business.
Versus money. Yeah.
But then again, this is the man who, as long as he can make some money, if it's a bad idea, he goes straight into it. Right WBF, right XFL.
Yeah.
So, and we talked about this. It was yesterday over brunch. This JR thing with Chris Jericho.
For those who don't know at all, Chris Jericho is a wrestling promotion.
Could this eventually affect the WWE?
I don't know. Like, it's still a rumor right now. It's not a guarantee that it's a thing, but if it is, obviously Chris Jericho, Jim Ross,
Cody Rhodes possibly jump on board.
All those guys backing financially by the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. So that's huge. That's kind of a Ted Turner situation where you got like an unlimited bank account. Mm-hmm. So I think if you're gonna do it, that's kind of the way to do it, right? You fight fire with fire. You can throw all this money at it, promote it. You got it. The biggest thing will come down to whether or not you get it on TV. Because if you have no TV deal, it's not going to go
exactly.
anywhere. So I've heard rumors of Access TV, which is a good start. Long term, I don't know. Access TV is not.
A Paramount Network.
Yeah, you would need. Yeah. I think obviously if you want to rival the WWE, you would have to get on like a mainstream network, like an NBC or ABC.
Yeah, if you want the casual fan, like it's great that a hardcore fan watches, but if you want the casual fan, you got to be on a CBS or ABC. You've got to be on a mainstream network. You can't just be on these indie networks.
Totally. And I don't think that's going to happen quick. That's something that you have to build over time. I feel like if this Jericho promotion does, it's going to be something similar to like a TNA back in the mid 2000s, where it was indie, but it was more mainstream than say like Ring of Honor and New Japan and stuff like that. And like Jericho has all these connections with Ring of Honor, New Japan, Impact, and all this stuff. So I think it'd be great.
I've been seeing Ring of Honor on TV quite a bit, which is nice. I want to end. We'll end on this trial.
NFL too as well. We
have
more to get to.
Okay.
Not just yet, and trivia still.
Go ahead. Start with the NFL.
NFL, So it was a week where I was watching. Of course, Green Bay was on a bye week. I wasn't really watching as much, but I want to say to the Cleveland Brown fans who lost again in overtime. That's gonna be just heartbreaking.
Hey,
week in, week out, losing to overtime, and now being. If you're a Browns fan, I know you're 2-4-1, but are you at least happy you've won ball games, been in ball games this year?
I think that's a win.
I think it's shows that they're competitive, which is the biggest thing. So that's a team that I think, give it 2 or 3 years, they're gonna be an exciting team to watch. But baby steps. When you come from the abysmal past couple seasons, I think they'll take anything that they can get right now. And if that's overtime losses, I think they'll take it.
Well, and we've seen the Broncos finally pull one out, they needed one. They beat the abysmal Arizona Cardinals. But then I read today Demaryius Thomas could be traded, which kind of scares me. I don't know for what or for who. Emmanuel Sanders could be out long term. We don't know yet. So with DT potentially being traded, we could be in trouble. Who does Case Keenum throw the ball to? I'm not sure. We've seen Amari Cooper get dealt today for a first-round pick.
Yeah,
I mean,
to Dallas.
if Demarius Thomas gets traded, that you can get a major haul then if Amari Cooper gets your first-round pick.
That's true, but still, who do you throw the ball to then Denver in the meantime? Do you throw to the old jockstrap of Ed McCaffrey and Rod Smith?
Rod Smith, yeah, right.
Like that's all that's left. Do you hand the ball off to empty jersey Terrell Davis?
Yeah.
Yeah, we also seen Drew Brees join the league company.
Yeah.
This week.
500 touchdowns.
500 touchdowns. Good for him. Couldn't happen to a better quarterback. And of course, we've seen the Chargers pulling out in the UK, and the Kansas City Chiefs continue to roll as Patty Mahomes continues to do what he's been doing. 3 touchdowns again.
Yeah.
The future of the NFL
this week.
That kind of the next generation quarterback.
And the Rams. The Rams keep winning as well. And they're 6-0.
Good times in LA.
Yeah, wow. LA's scary. LA's mad scary right now.
Speaking with LA for me, I want to bring this up. The Chargers, there was a report the other day. The Chargers have the worst fan attendance in the league in LA.
Mm-hmm.
They just moved there. What are you doing? Why?
I think Rams mania is kind of taken over.
Well, it's only Rams. They're struggling too because the NFL was so hell bent on LA, and forgetting that the NFL in LA is really irrelevant. You went 23 years on a team in that market, and LA sports fans are notoriously fickle. When you leave them, they're done with you. And the thing is too, with the Chargers,
they left them twice.
Yeah,
twice.
With the Chargers too.
Yeah.
All the Charger fans are in San Diego.
Yeah.
The
Too far.
They should have never left.
No,
Never
LA football fans. There are some Ram fans, but LA football fans are Raider fans. The Raiders were their team, not the Chargers, and the Rams were more of Anaheim's team, not LA's. Anaheim.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
So why don't you do that then? Why don't? Because we know the Raiders are going to Vegas. It's done.
Yeah.
But why not move the Chargers back to San Diego?
You can't.
Melvin Gordon has already said that that was home. Do you move to Anaheim then?
They can't. They're locked into a 20-year lease. Like they can't break it, or else it could kill them. They can't move. They're stuck for 20 years.
So now they're stuck for 20 years. So what do you do for 20 years?
And actually, I say 20, but that's when they could first leave.
We talk about Peter Chiarelli being bad. Jesus,
the
that
Chargers,
is a bad ownership.
I correct myself. 20, I believe, is when they can first break it, but the full lease is 40 in LA. Yes.
Jesus.
So they're stuck until 20 years.
Yeah, I feel you'd have to get obviously a stadium built in San Diego first would be step number one, getting that team back. Kind of a head scratcher, but like you said, they were so hell bent on getting teams in there, and they didn't even have the facilities to really handle one team, and now they throw 2 in there. So I think it's good to see the Rams doing well. I think the Rams make sense because the Rams were the Los Angeles Rams.
They were there for 50 years already.
They have a history there. It would have made way more sense to see the Raiders come back to LA, but and have the Chargers go to Vegas. But
it's like it's just silly because the NFL, and you know what? I'll say this though. It does make Roger Goodell look stupid, which I do like seeing this man get embarrassed. I do like seeing this man get embarrassed. I do want to get some NBA talk, Brad.
Yeah, Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
Man, as he made a first impression in Toronto, one of the best you could possibly do. They're on the verge. They went 4-0 tonight.
They beat Charlotte.
They ran over Charlotte. This team's 4-0. And there is no sign of stopping. This, to me, is the team in the East.
Right now, these Raptors look dang good. You're not just seeing Kawhi playing well. You're seeing Valanciunas stepping up. You're seeing Serge Ibaka getting it done.
He's led the team in points a couple nights.
And Fred VanVleet off the bench is coming in. Fred VanVleet is playing well. He's been shooting the lights out for this Raptors team. This is a squad that's hungry and want to show people, like, you know what? Yeah, we lost the mark. Yes, our new coach is Nick Nurse. But we still have Kawhi. We're coming for that title.
Yeah. Well, let's not forget, Kawhi Leonard was probably a top 3 player in the league, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Because a defensive player of the year twice, I think.
And the finals MVP at 23.
Yeah. So, I think people really underestimated how good he is and kind of let all the off-court kind of stuff overshadow it, which obviously is not a good thing, but at the same time, this guy is, like I said,
he's a real deal.
Top 5 player in the league for sure, which we haven't had in Toronto since Vince Carter.
Would
you even put Vince Carter when he was at his prime?
Oh.
Would he be a top 5 player in the league?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
When it was Vince circa 2001, absolutely he's top 3 player in the league.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We look at this though. At what point does Kawhi Leonard look and say, "I want to be in Toronto"?
I think if you look at this team, say they're, I don't know, they're say 25-6, or they get real hot, or they're say 30-11, whatever. Those 3 numbers out there. I think you sit down with Kawhi and say, listen, we have something potentially magical here. We want to keep you in Toronto.
Max deal.
Because people are saying that behind the scenes, people are saying that Kawhi is like in Toronto more and more.
Starting to warm up.
Yeah, we've all been in Toronto. I lived in Toronto for multiple years. It's a city where you can enjoy very
It's a
quickly.
great city. Yeah.
And I think Kawhi's seen the stigmas of Toronto.
Winters
are-
aren't so good. But it's good.
Well,
You can find that
it's
out.
more in like the Hamilton, the
It's not like
Kitchener.
San Antonio.
That's true.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I guess it really all comes down to the team, and if they're winning, if they make make it to the championships, what better presentation to Kawhi Leonard than saying, this could be you every year. You got to think LeBron's only got a couple of years left, at his peak as far as
You're
championship runs. LA is not even looking really that great right now, but that's the thing, right? It's like Kawhi, maybe he goes to LA, and so who knows, right?
No, exactly. But you know what? If he stays, great. But if not, this is a team where Toronto, if they go out and they win Eastern Conference Finals, if Kawhi leaves, you're gonna get more guys in Toronto saying, you know what? Damn, look what they did last year.
Yeah.
Look at guys back in Toronto again. If they do go out and they finally break out through win the East for the first time in franchise history.
Let me ask you
Yeah.
this one last thing, and we'll wrap up. Jimmy Butler.
Mhm.
Is that a player the Raptors could be interested in?
I think so, but it depends what you want to give up for him. Because is a Fred VanVleet deal for a Jimmy Butler? Because he's a guard, he's a game breaker, and right now Minnesota has to deal him because I cannot see him
Oh,
in
He
the
yeah.
locker
wants
room
out, doesn't
for
he?
much
He wants
longer.
Him
out.
and
It's
Wiggins,
a-
they're kind of butting
It's
heads.
a
Him,
toxic
Wiggins,
situation.
and Karl Anthony Towns. Like,
Because he's called them both out.
yeah, and it's amazing.
Publicly called them out.
And the thing is to me is that if you're Wiggins and you're Karl Anthony Towns, I'm sorry, Jimmy, you just came here, you just got here.
But
Who the hell are you calling me out on my team?
No.
And don't get me wrong, he's a great player, but guys, and you know what? Maybe behind the scenes they still up for themselves. But right now the appearance is that they're coming back to Butler when the Wolves originally were their team, not Jimmy's.
Is there a big age gap between those guys too?
You got to think Anthony Wiggins and Towns.
It was their team
They're
first.
the future of
Yeah.
Minnesota. They will be. They always will be. Jimmy Butler can shove it and go somewhere else, and that's exactly what's going to happen. You know what? You know what would be best for Jimmy Butler, or best for Towns and Wiggins to laugh at? If Jimmy Butler ended up like with the Brooklyn Nets or like the New York Knicks and just
Cool,
sucked.
Careful, because Butler and the Knicks, he might go sicko mode and break out, freaking break the Knicks or something else crazy.
Yeah.
Because we don't know.
I want to bring up one thing for you. How about Kyrie? What do you guys think of his situation right now in Boston? Isn't he? He's the backup, is he not?
No, he's starting in Boston.
starting?
Yeah, he's starting in Boston. That's a team where now they have Hayward healthy again,
Hayward back.
and
yeah,
Jalen
yeah.
Brown, Marcus Smart. That's a team.
Al Horford.
To me,
Back.
Boston is the biggest threat to Toronto for a title.
Yeah.
In my mind, in Eastern Conference.
They slayed the Dragon early though. They went 2-0 and beat Boston early.
Mhm.
Yeah,
How
that's
do you think
good.
Cleveland feels right now?
Cleveland.
Obviously, they got their championships. They did win in the end, but
Whew,
Andrew Wiggins, Kyrie Irving, these are players that they could have had right now. Do you imagine
Yeah.
how dominant that team would be? Like,
But you know what though, Cleveland, the future, like don't get me wrong, Colin Sexton, he's gonna be a baller.
He's gonna
Colin
be
Sexton's
great.
gonna be a dang
Yeah.
good point guard. But for
Fantastic.
right now, Cleveland's gonna get their lumps with the rolling guys. Like, I mean, right now it's just Kevin Love, Tristan Thompson, Sexton, and a bunch of spare parts. And we saw when it was LeBron, they barely got by. Now the spare parts with no LeBron, it's gonna be ugly.
yeah.
And-
Cars on wheels, basically.
Oh, one last thing, because it's there. Toronto Blue Jays manager search. Who's their manager next year?
Who is their manager next year?
I heard Rocco Baldelli.
I've heard Rocco Baldelli. He's been putting in work right now as a bench coach in the minors. He would not be a bad look as a manager. I still
They want someone
But
new. Yes.
Dusty.
Dusty Baker?
Yeah.
What I know.
What was the name?
That
What
guy's
was-
still alive?
I know.
The guy, the Nationals old coach.
It was
A couple of years back.
Jim Riggleman
No, before him.
before Riggleman. Frank Robinson.
Shoot, who was it? Or maybe it wasn't.
Oh, Matt Williams.
Jeez, I can't remember. But yeah, no, I think they need to figure that out soon.
I think there's a guy who you
She's
mentioned.
got to be collab, too.
He was a name out
Frank
there. He's kind of died down. The idea of Louis Clapp becoming.
Harry Frank Collab?
Yeah.
Blue Jays.
Cleveland?
Bring him over to Cleveland. Got the connection with the.
No more Cleveland guys.
No.
No.
Although I don't know if you.
What did they do in free agency, though? Did they make a splash?
I honestly don't know. This is the first year in a long time where I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know what their plans are. The Blue Jays.
Yeah. With the Yankees old
Joe Girardi. I've heard Joe Girardi and Rob Thomas are in the mix too.
Is Girardi good with young players though? Do you think so?
He's more veteran guy.
That's what I think so too. Yeah.
See, why not let's take a look at Mike Matheny?
If possible.
I think Mike Matheny has a winning track record in Cleveland.
Brett.
From the Capitals Independent League baseball player. If you don't watch independent baseball, I'm sure some guy like Missouri, like who the hell is Brett Matheny? They're watching like Milwaukee, like who the hell is that?
One of my favorite chants was when he would come out, people would yell, "I love meth. I love meth."
Independent baseball. But I also
Brad
heard.
Matheny, I remember him.
I also heard though. I'm not remembering his name right. Joe Esponza, who's coaching with.
He's
someone who was considered for the job. He's 43 years old. He's young in manager terms. He's never had a managerial job before, so I think he's the front runner for the Jays job.
Bryce was right, but would you consider Rafael Palmeiro?
He's playing right now. He's playing indie ball
Where?
San Rafael, Texas,
Is he like 50?
at 55.
Oh,
And
God.
he
Is
legitimately
he juice? Is he
at
bombing?
54. He's hitting no word of a lie, guys. He won a spring training deal for next year
In
to
the
play.
MLB?
Yes.
What's he hitting? Like 300?
I think he's hitting like 240, something like that. But still, at 54 years old,
Who that? Like,
that's not bad.
what?
Dude hasn't played in what? At least 12 years.
It doesn't 07.
That's
last
like
game.
Vladimir Guerrero coming back to play with his kid.
Well, Vladdy's 42. We're talking about a guy who's 54.
Yeah.
Roger Clemens?
40 out.
Going down 45. Like, no one's ever come back.
Clemens back then, he was 41,
46.
46.
Close. I mean, baseball's a sport where you've had guys who played in the 50s.
Maddox.
It's a sport guys who played in the 50s.
Yeah.
Jamie Moyer was 50.
It's a bright future in Toronto with Guerrero and Bobachek. So that could attract the manager there as well.
It could. That's a young team where next year I think Vlad has to be here next year.
I'm still not sold on this Russ Atkins,
No.
Mark
Not at all.
Shapiro thing.
No,
They're
I'm
going
not.
to do it too low.
But we got 4 years still of that before that expires. So we'll worry about that in 4 years.
I still feel that the Blue Jays, the best thing for the Jays would be if we hear Rogers sells and MLSC acquires the Blue Jays.
All right. Trivia question. Go ahead, Avery.
All right, so let's see trivia. You know what we're going to do? How about some NBA trivia?
Oh, there we go.
We've done hockey, we've done football. What was the NBA trivia? So, we're talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers. So I'm going to ask you guys. We're going to go back to LeBron. When LeBron was a Cavalier, how many points did he score in his first ever NBA game in 03-04? It was a win over Sacramento. How many points did LeBron score in game 1 of his career?
There you go. Again, thanks to Howie, thanks to Match, Shaq, Ramo, Dave, all those guys, all the winners from last week. You'll get your dinner for two here in the next couple weeks. For Vic Michaels, Avery Lewis McDougall, I'm Brad Barco. Good night. We'll see you next week.
Later.